Hey everyone, welcome to the Bolt Crew podcast. Dave Palais, Josh Palais, Mario Heron. It's already been a heated exchange on this show before we even went live. So here we are talking Charger football, getting ready for the playoffs. We're going to make some picks as well. Today's the big day. I hope you guys are all caught up on what your picks are going to be. I'm in good shape. I'll tell you guys right now. After last week, I'm in really good shape. If it wasn't for this damn Chargers, I would have gone undefeated. Had the best week of the year when the games counted as two. Mario, watch out. I might finish first overall in this whole damn thing. We're going to find out what's going to happen big weekend as we make our picks and feel a little bit more comfortable. Again, NFL news, there's a lot of it going on. All right. First of all, we'll start with the Chargers. Chargers, of course, Justin Herbert's still taking a beating nationally. People are going to move on from that. But when the season starts next year, no matter what Justin Herbert does, it's going to be to the idea that this guy doesn't show up in the postseason, and he's going to have that rap for a while. He has to wear it. Okay. Gets paid a lot of money to wear it. News, of course, about Jim Harbaugh, that Jim Harbaugh is having a few surgeries, but he's going to be ready to go. The only thing that always makes you nervous when you find out a coach is having, multiple surgeries or any kind of surgery when he has so much money in the bank and he's won so much is it's easy to call it a career, to go, you know what, life's short. I want to spend time with my family, financially we're okay and ready to move on. But with Jim Harbaugh, doesn't seem like that guy. Doesn't Jim Harbaugh seem like the kind of guy like, dude, I'm never leaving. I mean, I'm not going anywhere. Kind of the Wolf of Wall Street deal. He's not going anywhere. And so you want him to heal and get everything in order. It doesn't sound like the surgeries are a big deal. Everyone says that when the surgery is not yours. But if someone told you you're getting hip replacement or having some work done on your heart, you'd go, this is a big damn deal, right? I mean, you start questioning some things in life and order. So overall, Charger football be exciting as people tell us now, Josh, all the time, you're getting the same thing. Hey, welcome to the mock draft world. Doesn't matter that your team went 11-6. You're now in the mock draft world like everybody else.
Okay, whatever. I know exactly who you're talking about, and they live in the mock draft world. For any Raider fan that wants to tell me, welcome to the mock draft world. We had a season to hope for. You guys never had a season worth anything, so I'm not even going to go there. When it comes to Jim Harbaugh, how does his doctor checkup go, Mario? Hey, have you done anything lately to hurt yourself? Yeah, I do tire flips with the Los Angeles Chargers. Why the hell are you doing tire flips with the Chargers? Oh, yeah, I tried to squat 400 pounds with Trey Pipkins the other day. Why you do? What's wrong with you? No wonder Jim Harbaugh needs a hip replacement surgery. The guy's a maniac, but he's our maniac. And if he didn't do football, Mario, he has nothing else he would have going on in his life. So I'm not in any way worried that he's going to call it a career. He's also chasing his brother who has a Super Bowl, the one thing he doesn't have.
Yeah, and he said it before. He wanted to play football until he couldn't anymore, and he wants to coach football until he can't anymore. And I think we're really far away from that. He's going to be 92 years old in a wheelchair on the sidelines, like still coaching. Or do like the Joe Paterno up in the press box, and he's like still coaching, and everyone's like, is he really coaching? Like, in the press conference, he didn't even know his quarterback's name. What's going on here? I'm not, too worried about it, I'd say, Dave. And I'm also it kind of like cracks me up too. Just imagine he's got to be the worst patient to deal with.
Oh yeah, he tells the doctor what the report's going to say on the physical, right? Doc, you're going to write this down. I hate to say it. I mean, this is not a political show, and we always get people to bring up politics. But don't you think Trump does the same thing? You know what I mean? Like when you have a little bit of power, you can say, hey, you better write on there, I'm 6'3", 220. You got it. But everyone's looking at the pictures going, what the F? So when you look at Harbaugh and you're like, as Josh says, dude, I see you on film. We all see you. You're wearing wide receiver gloves. You're 60 years old. You wear khaki pants, and yet you're running full speed and you're throwing the goddamn ball to unknown people as hard as you can. This is why your hip hurts. This is why we have to have replacement surgery. You got yourself into this mess. But Jim's just like his dad. He's going to continue to be that guy that when he's not a head coach, he's going to be helping out his son or his grandkids. It's what it is. It's all about competing in that family. I kind of respect it. The worst thing to ever happen to Jim is that not only did his brother win one Super Bowl, but he won it against him. I mean, it is literally the worst thing to happen. Like, hey, man, I would have loved for my brother to win a Super Bowl. I love him. He's my favorite person on the planet. But damn it, it was against me. Like everyone in the family and the world saw it. It's literally the worst thing that could have happened to Jim Harbaugh.
If Jim Harbaugh won that Super Bowl against John, do you think he's still the coach of the Chargers today? I don't think so.
I don't think so either. I think
Yeah.
he's still at Michigan forever.
He's still at Michigan, 100% serving his suspension. But but seriously, if he never lost that Super Bowl, I don't think he's going to be coach of the Chargers today. So it's a great thing for us. I really think him losing the Super Bowl to his brother motivates him every single day to win one for himself. Do you disagree, Mario?
No, I think he wants to win multiple Super Bowls. I don't think he's a one and done type of guy either. I think he's a legacy dynasty type of coach, type of person. We even saw it when he was at Michigan, man. Like there was multiple times. There was like the Vikings leak. Remember, like they like interviewed him, and then it was like leaked that like they had a deal on him becoming the head coach already when they didn't. It was a weird kind of setup. Like he was ready to go. He's gonna give Michigan the see it, like goodbye and close the door on it. He is very, attached to winning multiple Super Bowls. I think honestly being called one of the best coaches of all time. That's where he kind of wants to leave his stamp. And right now, what's nice for him, but also not nice for him, Dave, is that the guy that's kind of like the big dog in the league when it comes to coaching is his rival, is in his division that he gets twice a year. And I think a part of him really likes that challenge of, if, in order to be the best, you have to beat the best. And it took him a while to do that, finally get Ohio State. And it might take a while before he can kind of clip the Chiefs, but we'll be here for it. And, I don't think it's an if it will happen, it's a when.
Yeah, it's funny. You think of a lot of coaches out there when they talk about, legacy and how much it means to them. It's interesting. How many guys are in this for themselves? Like Bill Belichick, I thought was in it because he loved football the entire time, and obviously winning championships is a big deal. I mean, everybody wants to be remembered in a great light. Only in the last few years did I think like a guy like Bill Belichick was concerned about the wins, like the Don Shula record of going down as the winningest coach of all time and not, falling short because he burned a lot of bridges in this league. Like he was, kind of quick with the FUs as he was winning championships, and the NFL kind of grew tired. Other people didn't want him, which is bizarre because he did exactly why he's hired to do the job. I mean, for me as a football fan, I'm extremely excited and relieved. It's one less thing to have to worry about, that you don't have a coach that is on the hot seat. Like Jim Harbaugh should never, ever be on the hot seat through the duration of this contract. You have that part of your organization taken care of. You have the quarterback right now in your mind taken care of. It's all about putting the pieces around those two guys to finish the job. I don't know. I mean, when you look at some coaches in the league, like when you look at Miami's situation, there's some ego involved, right? There's some ego involved in the head coach. Kyle Shanahan, same thing. I feel like there's ego involved in the head coach. Sean McVay, I'll be honest with you, I think the guy just loves football. Like he's a great coach, but I don't think Sean McVay is like there was talk he was going to leave for the Amazon job that Kirk Herbstreit took. So I think the guy loves football. I mean, the guy has a really good life. I don't know. I think the Chargers actually have won this deal. I understand it's $20 million a year you're giving Jim Harbaugh, but overall, they won this more than they even thought. And I guarantee you, Dean right now is sitting there going, a year ago, we were making a coaching change, and we were just in the postseason with an 11-6 record. Dean would take that every single year as an owner.
11-6?
You know what I'm saying?
I don't know what you're saying.
To have that good of a year, and be that dominating as a team, Dean would take that. How many times has Dean been in the playoffs since his family's on the team, which is about 40 years? Not very much.
The bar is incredibly low.
Incredibly low.
Incredibly low. As fans, 11-6 sounds great, but like, what do you do in the playoffs? That's what we all care about. And when you bring up coaches that their ego kind of gets in the way and they want the spotlight from their players, it doesn't go over well with the players. The players hate that. And if Mike McDaniel has another bad season, he's going to have an Amazon job too. The one where he drives the truck and he drops off the packages, because it just does not go over, and the players get sick of it quick. Here's a question for both of you guys. Where does Jim Harbaugh rank in terms of age? Out of all 32 coaches in the NFL, or, take off the ones that aren't available yet, out of age, where does Jim Harbaugh rank?
I'm going to guess 6th. Because he's old. He's 61, right?
What do you
think?
We're doing the whole Price is Right game. I'm going to go 5.
He's tied for 3rd. It's kind of surprising to me because 20 years ago, he'd be probably middle of the pack. There's so many older coaches. But like Mario said, he's 61 years old. The only two above him are his brother, who's 1 year older than he is, and Andy Reid, who's 67, I believe.
Pete Carroll might be coming back.
Might be coming back. Might be coming back in the division, which is crazy. But just to talk about the whole coaching thing, the Chargers have the right guy. I know people in the comments were upset after the game. He's not calling the plays, and maybe he should have more of a say in what's being called because Greg Roman doesn't have a handle on it. But I absolutely 100% today think that the Chargers have the right coach in place to win a Super Bowl or multiple Super Bowls, Mario.
They do. And look, we've said it multiple times, but this is like year one of the whole ordeal. And I know like the Niners turnaround was kind of quicker than expected, but the Michigan turnaround, like that took a while, man. Like there was talks in Michigan for a little bit, like should they let go of Harbaugh? Can Harbaugh get it done? Can he actually win at Michigan? As he kind of lost his fastball, and then he ended up, doing it in the end. This stuff takes a minute to do, and you could even hear it in their press conference they did yesterday. Joe mentioned he's like, we're now looking at version 2.0 of this thing, and it's like, well, 2.0 better have some receivers, man, and got to stack back up on the edge rushers because I have a feeling, guys, that we lose both. I think they're going to cut Bosa and save the money in July, and then. If you and Dave, know this more than anyone, just with your experience covering the NFL for so long, if you're halfway out, you're out in the NFL, and I think that's what Mac is at the point right now where if he's considering retirement, man, he's already gone. And honestly, kudos to him. It's been a hell of a freaking career. Hell of a career. And I loved every second to watch it. Probably one of those players, like looking back where I'm like, that guy every Sunday made my Sunday extremely happy.
What's interesting about Khalil Mack? First of all, he's not as old as I think a lot of people would think he is. But here's the deal: he's been with the Raiders, he's been with the Bears, he's been with the Chargers. If you ask people in those fan bases, what are your feelings on Khalil Mack? Everyone would say he's one of my favorite players of all time. Everybody.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? That's hard to do. And then to be that kind of player, game in and game out, and be that kind of guy. We've seen certain guys in the league that are like that, but man, it's so rare. It's so rare that you get a guy like a Khalil Mack. And someone wrote early on in the show on the comments about it might have been Mike G who made a Khalil Mack comment about how don't want to lose him. It's hard. First of all, anything he said it right after a loss, a tough loss. No one on the Chargers felt like they were going to lose that game to the Texans and the season was going to come to an end. Everyone thought they at least had one more week in them. But for Khalil Mack, I don't know. He loves the game. We talk about guys who play for championships and guys who play for money. So many guys in this league are paying for that or playing for that check. He could have retired a long time ago and been fine for life. He already has generational wealth. But for Khalil Mack, coming back would not surprise me. I hope it would be a team-friendly deal, that he comes back on. Bosa is 100% gone. They're fools to bring Joey back. There's nothing left in the tank. It's not even about cheap shot in Joey this time. It's not like I've done in years past. Joey just doesn't have anything left. He's just not a football player. He can't respond. His body's not as fast. He just can't get to the spots he needs to get to. And the Chargers need to really have a major upgrade at those positions. And kind of disappointing when we talked about bringing in, Dupree and have Bosa and Mack, and it's going to be tough to stop these guys. It really wasn't, right? It really wasn't tough to stop those guys this entire season. All three of them are kind of, you can move on from and be a better football team.
Yeah, I agree with Dave on this one. I think Khalil Mack does come back. I think Khalil Mack was good enough to play again. And if he has 1 foot out the door, Mario, that's something that he has to deal with. I'm assuming that he still wants to play because he's good enough to contribute to a team. And like Dave said, Joey Bosa is just not going to help the team. I could see him going to a team like the 49ers on like a 1-year deal or something weird, right? And then he has 1 more year with somebody else and then he retires. I kind of look at it like the Phillip Rivers situation where he plays with another team and then he kind of steps away. His body just can't give it to him anymore. And you feel bad for guys like that, but at the same time, I don't, because Joey Bosa, in my eyes, didn't live up to the hype. I think his rookie year was one of his best years that he had of his whole career, and he just didn't contribute at a consistent level. A person that nobody really talks about that I don't really understand is Thule. And Thule has games, Mario, where he has a couple sacks, and you're like, this guy's amazing. And then he has a couple games where you're like, did he suit up today? Did Thule play in this game? Like, well, that's a guy that Charger fans should kind of be pointing the finger at more. Like, we are expecting you to contribute because Joey Bosa and Khalil Mack are up there in age. We need guys like you to step up and make plays. Bud Dupree's older too. Bud Dupree's about the same age as Joey Bosa. We need Tooley to step up next season. We're going to have somebody come in as well as another pass rusher. But I agree with Dave. I think Khalil Mack is coming back, and we're going to have Tooley as well.
I hope he does because, like you said, he still has a lot to give. It's not like a guy where you watch him play and you're like, oh my God, it's really passing him by. It's not like, watching Shaquille O'Neal on the Boston Celtics, right? Dude, you just ran up the floor and you got hurt. No one was near you. Like, it's, I think that was just a cramp. Get him off the floor. Now, he's still got something to give for a championship team. And I think that's probably the other thing, Dave, that I could see keeping him in there. Is like you said, he's a hell of a competitor and he hasn't gotten one yet. And boy, does he deserve one. He deserves at least one title or at least a chance to be at the dance. I don't even think he's been to an NFC championship or AFC championship. Yeah, he definitely has. Because Raiders didn't do it. We didn't do it. And Bears sure as hell didn't do it. So just to even get that far, I would just want it for him, for that to happen. With the Bosa thing, I think Bosa's done. I really think. I mean, the Chris Long podcast that he did earlier, he's like, yeah, my body's giving out. And then the Tooley discussion. Dave, I think this next year is going to be Tooley's hardest year for the sole reason of when you have Mac or Bosa on the other side, you get an easier matchup. I don't see that happening for him next year. I think more pressure is going to be on him to perform. And, we'll see how he does and see, how he plays and how he can live up to it.
Yeah, we expected a lot because he shows signs of really being an elite player. But overall, you look at this Charger team, and if you're, a quarterback, they always say when a quarterback is, before he takes the snap, looks at certain players on the defense, where's that guy at? Like back in my day, it was always the talk is, where's number 56 on the Giants? Like Lawrence Taylor was that guy that was that disruptive, where is he at? For the Chargers, I would guess if you're a quarterback, you're looking, where's number 3? Where's Derwin James? But you want more guys like that. And for Tooley not to be one of those guys where I'm not concerned about 45, wherever the hell he's at. Hey, he might get to me, he might not, but chances are he's not going to be a game changer. You want to see him at an All-Pro, Pro Bowl level. That's one of the things the Chargers said about him, and one of the things we've seen. We've seen him play great at times, but to have games, as Josh said, to disappear, it is very frustrating.
With Tooley, I mean, people are saying in the comments he did pretty well. He had 8.5 sacks. I think that's fine. I think it's fine. Out of the 8.5 sacks, 6 of them came on a 4-game stretch. It was against the Bengals, Titans, Browns, and Saints. If we all remember, he just went nuclear. Besides that, he didn't do much. He had half a sack against the Chiefs. He had 1 sack against the Patriots, and that was it. Tooley did not have a sack from the Saints game on October 27th until the end of the season. Are you okay with that as fans? I'm not, especially for a guy like him that had 8.5 sacks. You'd expect him to have 1 at least every 2 or 3 games. Right? You need him to step up next season. That's a guy that we have to look at. When Dave talks about causing havoc, right, and you believe in your team to get to the quarterback, remember the Sean Merriman and Sean Phillips days? You always thought those guys were going to get to the quarterback. I didn't have that feeling this year. And I know it's not fair to point fingers at Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa being older in their career, but if you can't get it to the quarterback, you can't win games. I think that's the difference right now between the Chargers and a lot of these teams that are left in the playoffs. They just get after the quarterback at a different level. Look at the Texans. Danielle Hunter and Will Anderson are 10 times better than anybody that the Chargers have on their roster today.
Look at the Rams.
Yeah. I was about to say the Rams are probably like the perfect, comparison, right? Because they have pretty much went all rookied out or young guys at the defensive front, and recently they've just been piling on. And Vikings being the recent example, or Sam Darnold, that poor guy, man. I mean, like. Life comes at you fast. 2 weeks ago, you're on the shoulders and people throwing water at you, and you're like your next coming of Christ. To you're the body of Christ. 2 weeks later, you know what I mean. You're just getting tough go. That was tough. But hopefully Chargers can kind of follow that formula. Like we saw what they were able to do with this last draft with building their secondary. Time to build up the front a little bit more, right? Like, let's get some new blood in there. And I believe Morgan Fox is on an expiring contract too.
Talk about a guy that disappeared for most of the games.
Okay, but he was still huge in like against the run though, and like stuffing holes. Like, I want him back.
Does he get to bring his dog back, or do we keep the dog?
I'm fine with the dog.
Dude,
By the way,
Morgan
we
Fox,
need to have
he
a
was
discussion
he had
about
3.5 sacks on the year. Come on.
But sacks don't mean everything.
They don't mean everything, but you'd expect a guy that has shown that he can get to the quarterback to do a little bit more. He was the third best interior defensive lineman in my eyes, behind Tart and Poona Ford.
I mean, he was huge for us in the past 2 years too.
I'm not ready to throw him away. I'm just saying it's not like he had a great year.
Fair, very fair.
All right, look, here's the deal. I always, there's certain things on the show that I laugh or I wait for every single show. You know, we all have our ticks. I know I have certain words that people always say, okay, here he comes. So I'm gonna say a word that people say I drop it every single show. Holy cow, Mario is guaranteed every single show to drop somewhere there's a God or Jesus reference, which makes me laugh that every single time when it happens. It's like Josh wasn't even phased. It was, I'm not even a religious guy, but holy cow, if I said it, I would have got yelled at for dropping the Jesus line the way you dropped it just now. But it's Mario makes him so funny. And here's the other tick that cracks him up, Mario. Whenever you get upset or you disagree, okay, you just drop the big go.
That's got to be a tick from my dad, because he would do the okay, or he would just go, God, where'd you get over here? And he would just beat the crap. Well, when we were younger, beat the crap out of you. And you're like,
It makes me laugh every time, dude. Okay. That's your big pushback right there is the okay. Oh my gosh.
I got a question for Dave. I got a question. All right. How many guys on this team would you do you absolutely want back? Do you have a quick list? Like you need them back on the team next year. Has to happen. And I'm not talking about free agents or not. Like these are guys that help the Chargers. You want them. You very much want them on the team in 2025.
All right. But they're under. But if a guy's under contract, it doesn't count. Is that your asking?
Anybody? I'm just saying. Anybody who on the team do you need to have? Like Lad McConkey, obviously he's not up as a free agent, but you need Lad. Who else do you absolutely need on this team next year?
I need Still. I need whatchamacallit? I need Derwin. What?
Cam Hart.
Cam Hart. I need Derwin. I need Justin Herbert. I like Poona Ford a lot. I like Henley. There aren't a lot, Josh. There's probably about 7 guys, and everyone else, I have full faith in the front office to do whatever they can. Like this is business. You know, don't get your feelings hurt. That's how I kind of feel. I'm not attached to anybody.
There's about 7 to 10 guys on this team, Mario. I gotta have. Everybody else can go. Like that's honestly how I feel. Dave didn't mention the tackles, right? You want Slater and Alt.
Oh yes, of course, Slater and Alt. I want
Slater.
back.
Alt, I'm with Dave on the same list. Slater, Alt, Henley, Still, Hart, Derwin, Ladd. I mean, kind of
Cameron Dicker. Oh yeah,
Cameron Dicker's great. Poona Ford's really good. Everybody else can go. That's really just how I feel about this team right now. I think, and that's what they're going to do. You saw Daniel Jeremiah said the other day. He was on the ride back with Joe Ortiz. He said, "This is the worst this roster will ever look. It's going to be completely different." And you got to love that. Like Dave said, as a fan, you have to love what's going to be coming in the next few months.
I would really like back Joshua Palmer. I'm kidding. No. I would love to have Tart back. I know his deal's expiring, but he was really big. And actually, funny enough, of all interior defensive linemen, he was ranked 12th by PFF.
He is really good. And he's really big.
He's really good. Really, that guy can take out a buffet. You know what I mean?
He was good.
Our worst nightmare. Yeah.
No, he's great.
I'd love to have him back. Would you want J.K. Dobbins back?
Yeah. But I want him to split more carries with somebody else, not Gus Edwards. Right? Yeah. JK should not be the lead back on a team that makes a Super Bowl run for as many carries as he had. Like he can split them, like I said. You can't expect J.K. Dobbins to take you to the Super Bowl with nobody else to help him.
I like J.K. Dobbins, but he doesn't have a history of being durable. This is like the most durable he's ever been. And he still went on the IR. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I like J.K., but it feels like if he has an injury, we all knew it was going to happen. He played much more than I expect him to play. but the team needs them. Every team needs a back. The running back is going the way of the dodo bird, as old people used to say. I mean, it is hard to find a quality running back. There are really not many of them in the league. Not many teams have that guy that you rely on. I mean, the Ravens, getting Derrick Henry was a huge plus for them. It's amazing how many teams not only passed on Derrick Henry in the draft because he went in the second round and he's a Hall of Famer, but passed on him again in free agency, right? You look at Barkley and what he did with a good Eagles team. You look at Gibbs for the Lions. Bucky Irving is outstanding. There's some really good ones. That's probably about seven quality backs out there. Josh Jacobs is great, but how many teams don't even have that threat? A real threat at the running back situation.
Look at every team you just named.
I was about to say, look at every team that's left.
Well, yeah, and look at Cincinnati, who didn't make the playoffs. Offensively, Cincinnati had the weapons to win a Super Bowl, right? They something is always missing with the Bengals, but offensively, the Bengals should have had the weapons to win a Super Bowl. You had the running back, you had the wide receivers, you had a quarterback. There's some guys on their defense that were solid. You have a coach that never gets them ready to play the first 2 months of the season.
Yeah, Joe Mixon, B. Hannon said, but every team you just named is still in the playoffs, right?
Yeah.
Or they made it to the playoffs at least. Like Bucky Irving, Josh Jacobs, Gibbs, Henry, Barkley. These are all teams that are in the playoffs. Joe Mixon. And for you guys that want a running back in the first round, you're out of your minds. There's no way. With the way this team is right now, you should draft a running back in the first round. If Scatabo, whatever his name is, in the third round or second round, maybe. But I would lose my mind as a fan if we went running back in the first round with all the holes that they have on this roster.
I mean, look what they did with in the second round last year. Look where they got their receiver one with Ladd McConkey. That's going to be something they could do with the receiver position this year, right? I mean, the running back position this year. I do think the running back it's gone up slightly because of what we've seen from Saquon Barkley and Derrick Henry this past season. I think the value of them is skyrocketing a little bit. And like the Lions had games this year where Jared Goff could have, not even entered the game. And there was games he threw for 150 yards and they won, 30-10 because Gibbs and Montgomery just ran all over them, right? So I think we're going to see a slightly turn on the running back position and, a little bit more value in it.
Yep. All right. Hey, I do want to mention some of the other teams in the league real quick. So, there's more and more talk that this Deion Sanders thing to Dallas could happen. The coaches that Jerry Jones is interviewing in Dallas are bizarre. I mean, not only are they guys that were fired from other jobs, but guys that were terrible at their job, that Jerry Jones is talking to. The Deion Sanders thing is wild. And we spoke about it about 15 minutes ago about coaches who have egos. Well, Deion obviously has a tremendous ego, always has, always backed it up as a Hall of Famer too. But with Deion, there's no way he's taken that job if there's not a deal in place to be able to get his kid, right? Which means you're trading Dak away, which means you're still in a lot of trouble, right? You're trading draft picks to be able to get your own kid, and the Cowboys don't have salary cap room, and they're a complete mess all the way around. Even if they kept Dak, they're a mess. The Deion move with the egos. Is there an owner in the league that has a bigger ego than Jerry Jones? No. I mean, the guy's doing acting on the side. The guy always has his own radio show. The guy has to meet with the media after every game. There's not another owner that's that big of a mess as Jerry Jones is. You think he wants to share the spotlight, Mario, with his head coach? I mean, how can you say, hey, Deion, that's too much spotlight for you? Deion's all about the spotlight, always has been.
That's actually a good point. I was talking about this yesterday with Horvat. I think the perfect coach for the Dallas Cowboys is a guy that is fine with being in the background. Say what you want about Jason Garrett. Should he have been around there for that long? Probably not. But he was perfect for Jerry Jones, and he did not want to do any interview. He didn't want any attention. He was completely fine with letting Jerry take the mic and Jerry do his thing, and then he can go ahead and coach a football team. The down part about it is that he just wasn't a good coach, wasn't able to take him to the next level. Mike McCarthy was a little bit in the same way, but I think McCarthy wanted more power because he's like, hey, I'm a Super Bowl winning head coach. I can't just be getting undermined like this all the time. With Deion, he had his own freaking TV show at Colorado,
Yeah.
He loves the spotlight. There's a reason why his headset's gold. Do you think that's for style? No, it's so he's the head coach and you can see him on the sideline and point and go, hey, that's Deion. Add that to the list of 1,000 things, Josh, of why that would not be a good fit at all. You're getting a guy that's just figuring it out in college, and then you're going to throw him to the NFL. Then you're going to throw him to the NFC East, which is not an easy division, where you have the Commanders on the rise. You have the Eagles that are hitting their stride. And then, we saw Brian Dable where, Giants still need to figure a lot of stuff out. But if they get a QB with Malik Neighbors, that's a 6, 7, 8 win football team easily, right? You really want to risk all that? And then they're talking to Leslie Frazier. Leslie Frazier is the king of getting interviews. That guy's, I tip my cap to him. There's no one that gets more interviews than that guy. He must suck in them because he never gets the head coaching job. But boy, is he getting the interview.
I hate. You know why I think this is happening? Jerry Jones is interviewing Deion Sanders to just have more media attention on the Cowboys because that's all that he cares about. If you're a Cowboys fan, how are you not furious with Jerry Jones? I'm sure they are. Talk about a guy that went from glory to just completely to the ground, the way that he's ran this team the last 20 years. The Cowboys are in one of the worst positions of any
30.
team in the NFL. And I hate that we always talk about them, right? David and I always say, we're not going to watch the TV if they're talking about the Cowboys because it's trash. It's something that's not serious, something they probably made up. So people like us will talk about them. You know what? I hope Deion goes there because I don't think he's fit for the job. That team stinks. They have one player in CD Lamb and everybody else is kind of whatever. So I have no idea why they would even have Deion come in if it's not going to be for media attention because I don't think he's going to get the job. But if they do hire him, it's kind of on brand because Jerry Jones is out of his mind.
Let me ask you, is Deion, in your mind, without looking it up, is Deion a good coach? Would you consider him a good coach?
I think he's a good coach. He got Colorado because he got Colorado to where they're at now.
Okay. He's 13-12 in 2 years at Colorado with the number one quarterback in the nation and the number one football player in the nation, and Travis Hunter. He has the Heisman Trophy winner and the number one quarterback in a bad conference, and he's 13-12. Is he a good coach?
Can I counter that, though?
Yeah, you can drop an okay on me if you want.
That's the two bet. Like that was the two top guys he was ever gonna get.
Yeah, but he got a chance to go out and pick whoever he wanted.
But
you know
on the other side,
you can't do that in the NFL.
Yeah, true. But there's 9 other guys out there. Like their O line and D line in Colorado is still light years behind the big fellas.
That's what I'm saying. As a good football coach, what's the deal with his recruiting? He already kicked everybody off the team when he got there. He told everyone, "I don't want you here," and he picked his own guys. He personally picked his own guys. Is he that good of a coach that he didn't recognize talent? He didn't go and chase guys, by the way, in high school. He didn't do the whole high school recruiting because maybe there's 1 or 2 high school kids. I'm looking to take kids off of other programs. And he did. And he obviously picked the wrong players. Is he a good coach? Is what I'm not saying you guys, I don't know the answer either. I'm just saying for a guy that's only 1 game over 500, which the best pro prospect quarterback and the number 1 overall player in the whole league with a crappy conference, and you're 1 game over 500. It's not that impressive.
No, I want to see what he does without having his son as the quarterback.
Okay, speaking of that, when he came out yesterday and said there are certain teams that he won't let draft his son, meaning we'll stay back and do nothing, pull the Archie Manning move. He's talking to the Cleveland Browns, right? That's who he's talking about. When he says, I know what's behind the curtain and there's certain organizations I'm not going to let my son play for. Now, we all knew he was all in on the Raiders if the Raiders were able to get his kid, but because he's, the connection with Tom Brady. But when it comes to some other teams, who's he talking about? He has to be talking about the Browns. They'd be the next team that has a chance to really grab him.
You wouldn't be talking about the
You think
Giants,
he's talking about Tennessee?
I was thinking it's the Giants is who I was thinking of.
Yeah, but even Giants, I feel like that'd be a great spot.
Number 1 media market?
Malik Neighbors,
Brian Dable.
Yeah, I think that's a good spot too.
Yeah. You have the
anyway. Just curious to know what you guys thought.
Before we pick game, sorry, we got Mario.
No, I was just gonna say, also Sanders could very much be drafted behind Cam Ward. That's going to be a topic of discussion. Which quarterback would you rather have?
Yeah, well, also Jackson Dart's name's going through the roof all of a sudden. People are talking about Jackson Dart from Ole Miss. I just like him just because I said to Josh, he's the greatest quarterback name ever. That's a cool name.
And he
there's
looks
certain
like the
guys.
most prototype quarterback
Yeah.
ever
Yeah.
with the
And then
number and
you go,
everything.
you went to Ole Miss. Makes sense. That makes sense, young man.
Yeah. LA guy. He's a Los Angeles guy.
Is he really?
Yeah. Yeah, of course.
I think he ends up going to the Raiders, honestly. Let's get to the comments right here, Mario. We got some good ones. First one comes from Young West. $5 says, what will the Chargers have to do to win over the city? Right now, we are the Clippers of LA, and I hate it. Well, you used the word right there, win. You got to win to win over the city of Los Angeles. LA has so many teams, so many places to put the entertainment dollar. If you're not winning games or winning playoff games, people are going to go elsewhere.
I'm with you. What did the Rams do that the Chargers didn't do?
Yeah. Playoff win. And they won in a hell of a way. And the Chargers laid an egg. So that's the difference, right? That's why the Rams are number 1 currently and the Chargers are number 2. I don't think it's going to be like that for the future, but you got to be flashy. You got to win the big games. And you got to be in the big moments. And that's how you get fans.
You know what? You're right. There's a way of winning in Los Angeles, and you have to be entertaining as hell. I mean, Greg Roman is not exactly what you think about when you think about, man, that's the greatest show on turf, right? It just isn't. I'm sorry to take a shot at Greg Roman, okay? But there's a way you win in Los Angeles. That's why the Showtime Lakers are something people will still talk about, 40 years after it happened, and then there's teams like, I hate that he says they're compared to the Clippers, but they are. I mean, they are. You'll see that bracket all the time, at least on my social media feed, real LA, fake LA. And real LA are the teams are, the Lakers, the Dodgers, the Rams, they put in there, and the LA Kings. Fake LA is the Ducks, the Angels, the Clippers. You know what I mean? And then when the Chargers are on the other side, it does. It kind of sucks. You have to win. You have to win, and you have the combination of the coach and quarterback. Hats off to the Rams. I'll say this: their draft the last few years has been insane. I mean, when you look at the Rams players and you realize when they came into the league, and they came into the league after they won the Super Bowl, and how good those guys are, and 5th round picks. I mean, did the Rams ever miss in the 5th round? It's crazy.
Have them picks.
Yeah. Damn.
It's nuts.
Damn.
Angie Barra 999 says, thanks for the great shows all season. Looking forward to an off season to see how they build this team. I'm looking forward to it too. And I know we just lost, but honest to God, I'm excited about this offseason more than any in the past.
It's going to be a fun one. And I can't wait for the draft talk to come around because the draft talk is the most fun thing of all time. And it's also fun, Dave, for the guys that are, but like the guys that are like really good athletes but not good football players. And then everyone like
Anthony Richardson.
Yeah. The Bama cute Milrow is going to be, that's going to be him this year.
He's going to be the fake.
I can't wait for that.
Milrow's going to be the fake. He's going to be, as I would say, he's the JJ McCarthy. I don't know if JJ McCarthy is going to be any good, but holy hell, dude, as Mario would say, the Vikings fell for it.
Yeah, they did. Couldn't happen to a nicer program.
Next one is Mike G, $5 says, pushing back on the overachieving narrative. You guys and most fans saw early on we'd win 10 plus games. We all thought we'd beat the Texans. Underachieved. I talked about this on the last show. I agree and I disagree. We overachieved in the sense that we won 11 games. Like 11's a lot, right, for any team. And then we underachieved because we got there and we laid a dud. Because I played. We laid a dud.
I think we didn't. I would lean more to we overachieved or we just met the criteria. We swept the Broncos. We swept the Raiders. We split with the Chiefs. We beat the Bengals. But we didn't really beat a playoff team besides the Broncos. We made it in there. We got to the highest seed possible without winning the division. And then we lost a road game to a Texans team that if you want to go, what people thought of a team before the season, people thought Texans was going to be like a Super Bowl team. So I think if anything, Dave, it's an overachievement or we just met the criteria. We got a C+, you got in.
Look, I think before the season, we all would have taken exactly how it played out without seeing any of it. We would have taken 11-6. 11-6, that sounds crazy talk. It just sounds crazy. Even though the schedule could be whatever it is. That just sounds ridiculous. That someone would say they're going to be 11-6. You have to host a podcast to have that kind of opinion. I mean, that's insane that somebody would actually say that out loud. A buddy of ours who's a big Raider fan who listens to this show, was ripping the hell out of the Chargers the other day to Josh and me. And I said, let me ask you a question. He didn't even understand the mind F I was doing with him. I said, hey, let's say the Raiders go out and they get Ben Johnson and they turn around and they go 11-6. Is that a successful year? Hell yeah, it is. Where do I sign up? I might go, well, that's exactly what the Chargers did. Yet he couldn't wait to get in line and didn't understand. Ask any other team who wasn't 11-6 who still can't figure it out. Would they take 11-6 and lose? I mean, the Browns are paying a quarterback $240 million. It's not going to now play for another year who wasn't good when he plays. So there are a lot of organizations can't figure it out. The Miami Dolphins spent a ton of money because they thought they were a can't-stop offense. Where are the Miami Dolphins? A lot of teams are a mess. This team is not a mess.
Can I push back on our Raider friend that likes to
okay.
talk smack real quick?
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah,
please.
And everyone be nice to him. He's a virgin. Raiders by the numbers. 43 years since their last road playoff win. 40 years since their last Super Bowl win. 21 years since last playoff win. That means I was 5 years old. Probably pooping myself in a diaper at that time. George Bush was president at that time. Did 9/11 happen? 9/11 did happen. Congrats, Raiders. 21 years since the last AFC West title. 13 years since kick return touchdown. That means your special teams even sucks. That's how bad it is. Even the third of the game, you still blow. Tough go. 12 head coaches the last 21 years. You're just doing a great job. You really found the next guy. Out of the 12, I'm just going to go ahead and throw this in there because in case people are wondering, you're still paying the last 3. So when payday comes, you're still sending them. I know that's really hard for some of them to understand, especially our friend here. So, buddy, every 2 weeks when people get paid, you still have to pay those guys that aren't working there anymore. That's how that works.
Yeah,
and then 2 winning
three
seasons.
3 GMs and 3 head coaches. That's what they're paying. That's amazing.
And some would say that's bad. I don't know who would say that, though. And then 2 winning seasons in the last 21 years. That's 2 years. Wow. Hell of a program. Raider Nation.
Horrible. Yeah, terrible. Commitment to below average. That's what they are. It's a joke. Yeah, but no Raider fan can talk. Ever. All right. Thank you, Mario, for that. Demetrius Jones, what do we got? He says, question, Josh, you bring up Mike McDaniel in a world where we fire Greg Roman. Would you take Mike as our new OC with Justin Herbert? Absolutely.
Me too.
I would love for Mike McDaniel to be the offense coordinator, Brian Daboll, anybody that might lose their job that is offensive minded that we like. Mike McDaniel, I do like what he does as an offense coordinator. I would take him in a second, Mario.
Talk about change up in offenses, right? Greg Roman, I want to run the football. Mike McDaniel, you have to literally put a shot in his arm to force him to run the football. It'd be a complete change. But I'd be for it, man. He is a hell of an offensive mind. I don't think he's a good head coach, but I think career coordinator, that guy's killer.
Yeah.
All right. Next one comes from Golden Kings Toys. Says if T. Higgins stays with the Bengals, my free agent pick would be Chris Godwin or Tyreek Hill.
Godwin has had some major injuries, yet he's still really good. I don't want Hill. I've said that a million times. I just don't want Hill.
I don't want him for the money. And if we lose 2 games in a row and then he starts having a panic attack.
Yeah, I'm taking Chris Godwin over Hill right now because I don't want Tyreek that much, but I would take Garrett Wilson definitely over both.
Yeah. By the way, we didn't even talk about the whole A.J. Brown book thing. I mean, what the hell, dude? I can't stand how people let bad behavior just go by. I mean, the fact that the book thing was obviously I'm not involved. That's what that sign was. 2, if I was Sirianni, I'm like, who the hell allowed this guy to who brought the book out for him? Because he didn't bring the book out, obviously, from the locker room to the field. Someone on that staff brought that book out for him. That's ridiculous. And if I'm Jalen Hurts, I'm just like, dude, I want him off the team. This guy's such a distraction that he's going to sit there and question everything I do. When this season's over, get rid of him, trade him. Let's get some picks for him. He's like a major distraction. How good the Eagles have been playing, and A.J. Brown's always about A.J. Brown. It's insane.
He doesn't care that they've been winning. He'd rather have the stats.
Yeah,
It's
he'd
funny because
rather-
I actually could speak on this from personal experience because I know Jalen. Jalen so is opposite of AJ Brown when it comes to this. It's insane. Like Jalen really just wants to win. He doesn't really care what his stats are. And AJ Brown is opposite. Obviously, he wants all the stats, but doesn't care if they win. I would hate for AJ Brown to be on my team because he does not care about the team. It bothers me to no end. Like the Stephon Diggs stuff last year with Josh Allen when he had 1,000 targets, but it wasn't enough. Like, dude, what are you here for? You're obviously here for yourself. I can't stand it.
Also, like you very much know what that's gonna do to the Philadelphia media. Reading a book, really? Really? You think that's just gonna no one's gonna care? That's the other part that's crazy to me is the PR aspect of like in your head, you thought, nah, no one's gonna pick this up. There's just
I
not
think he did it on
1,000
purpose,
cameras.
so they did pick it
Of
up.
course.
Same.
Yeah, that's
Which is crazy.
Okay, name another profession where you can sit there. Let's say you had to do a major presentation where the CEO is talking to investors and you're on the panel and you just pull out a book and you just start reading it while he's talking. It's the biggest business day of the year for the company. And you pull out a book, completely has nothing to do with what the company is about. You aren't getting in trouble for that? Of course you are. There's no way that behavior is accepted anywhere. It's ridiculous. Not a fan of AJ Brown.
No.
Not a fan of any athlete that does stuff. I almost cussed right there.
Some Terrell
Stuff
Owens
like that.
stuff right there. Yeah, no, I don't like it. All right, you want to pick games? Let's pick some games.
Yeah, we could
Let's pick
we could
games.
we could pick some games. By the way, you think Ben Johnson's going to the Raiders?
Nope.
Nope.
Okay, that's all the talk, but I'm like, why would he go there? They don't have anything.
Yeah, he's
No.
going to Chicago.
Do you think he's going to Chicago?
I'm starting to think. I go back and forth every single day, but I think it's Chicago's the strongest. I think Chicago's going to hire him or McCarthy.
Okay. All right, here we go. Let's go with the picks. I'm happy to review these because it was my best week in the entire year. Here's the deal. Mario on the season is 149 and 135. Last week's games and this week's games that count as 2 points. So Mario, you went 6-6 last week. Okay?
I need to say a prayer.
Okay. So basically Mario was a 500, right? 6-6, you're 149, 135. I finally have a winning record. And there it comes, 143 and 141. I went 10-2 last week. It was only the Chargers loss that I missed right there. That was it. So I did okay. LeBron James and I, by the way, had the exact same picks as I heard him interviewed with the Kelsey brothers yesterday. He picked the Chargers to win too. Him and I had the same picks. But I'm 143, 141. Josh was right there, one game behind me a week ago. Josh, you went 2-10. Not
It's
good.
all right.
What?
It's fine.
It's not all right. If you
can-
came
we
on
can
with
come
that
back.
report card, I would have been pissed. 134 and 150 you are on the season right now. Okay.
I believe in
I
you,
know.
Josh.
All right. This is 3 points for this week, right?
Are we doing 3?
I thought every
Well,
round it
three.
goes up 1 point.
That's a bullcrap lie, and you know it.
I thought that was the
That's
rule.
Son of a
I
bitch.
kind of like the craziness of it. I kind of like
I
it.
kind of like it too, but I don't know. Fine, you bastard. Let's go.
3 points.
All right,
Let's go.
3
Let's
points.
go. All right. The next week it's 4 points a game. Holy cow,
Yes.
man. Look at this.
Yeah. Super Bowl's worth 5.
Woo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
And you have
here we
to
go.
Super Bowl. You have to do a prop too.
Oh, I love that.
I like
That's
it.
10 points.
Since it comes down to the AFC and NFC championship, it should be one of those where we submit our picks blindly and then we just read them on the air. That way you can't sit there and play safe. You know what I mean?
Yes, I
I
like
can't
that.
just go to protect my
Who's going
lead.
to be our
and stay-
middleman?
I don't know what to tell you.
B. Hannon.
I don't. Yeah.
AK.
There you go. Angie. We'll just let Angie do it.
Yeah, Angie can do it.
No,
All
I
right.
trust Angie. All right, here we go. We have on Saturday 2 games. Sunday we have 2 games. Saturday, the first game is going to be the Chiefs at home. They are favored by 8 over the Texans.
My first?
Go ahead.
Okay. I like the touchdown security. I'm going to take the Texans. The Texans defense rocked us last week. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. Chiefs defense also going to get after it. I'll take the security with the 8.5. Chiefs win, but they don't cover big numbers.
I'm with you. And even though the Chiefs have, and when I went the opposite way lately, the Chiefs have burned me still. But I'm going with the Mario on this one. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Texans as well. It's a lot of points. Josh, I'll give you a chance to catch up or fall behind. What do you want to do?
I'm gonna go Kansas City. I think they cover, and their defense is really strong. And Mahomes is the best player in playoff history besides Tom Brady, probably. So I'm gonna go Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs to cover.
All right, next game up
Interesting.
on Saturday. It's the Detroit Lions. They're hosting the Commanders. The Lions are favored by 9.5 over the Commanders. Josh, go ahead.
Commanders to cover. 9.5's a lot. Lions might be the best team in the NFL, but that's a lot for a playoff game. I'm gonna go Commanders.
Commanders, one of the worst defenses on the road in defending the run. Sonic and Boom are back together. Now, I've never seen the movie, but in the commercials, they look fast. So I'm going to go ahead and take the Lions to cover here. I think they run all over them. I'd hammer everything Gibbs, Montgomery overs. Goff's going to not even hit 200 yards passing because they're going to run the ball so damn much. Jayden Daniels won't touch the field.
All right, I'm going with the Lions offense also. Here we go. On Sunday, we move on. I'll pick first in this one. It's the Eagles hosting the Rams. This is a weather game right here. This is one of those where they're talking about snow and wind. It seems like whenever you hear that, you never get that, but it sounds like that the weather's going to be extremely cold. And thanks to Matt Stafford's wife for bringing the sick kids on the plane. A bunch of Rams players could be sick. Eagles are favored by 6, but I like what the Rams are doing right now. I'm going to go with the Rams to hold it within 6.
I like the Eagles in this one. Home game. Jalen Hurts, really good in the playoffs. I think Eagles cover.
I'm going to go Rams, but I do not feel confident about it at all. This is a stay away game for me. I just enjoy it.
All right, here we go. Game of the weekend. This is a game everyone's extremely excited to watch because I think most people would say it's a coin flip. The point spread says it's a coin flip. It's a shame that one of them has to go home because I think we'd like to see the Chiefs have to go through both of them. But it's the Ravens on the road. The Ravens are favored by 1 over the Buffalo Bills.
This is the best divisional playoff game that I can remember, by the way.
Me too.
Like, I cannot wait for this game. I'm going Ravens.
We're simpatico. I like the Ravens in this. They dominated them the first time. This Bills defense's team as a whole is different, but I think the Ravens can take away that run game and kind of put pressure on Allen. And Allen's weapons are not Lamar's weapons, and I think that's the game changer in this. If Allen wins this game, whatever happens between the Chiefs, probably his greatest run.
It'd be great because it's not the AFC Championship game, but it'd be great if they literally just took the MVP trophy off the sideline and gave it to whoever won the game right then. Just go, hey, you're the MVP.
Yeah.
It's gonna have influence on it.
It's a great game. I'm going with the Ravens as well. I'm rooting for the Bills, as a fan, and not, obviously not, I'm not putting money on these games anyway. As a fan this weekend, I'm rooting for the Bills, Rams, Commanders, and Texans. How's that?
Yeah.
All the underdogs.
Very nice.
I don't know. Are you guys rooting for anybody?
To win the Super Bowl?
No. Out of the games. Like if you're just watching the game as, let's say you're 5-year-old you and you're watching the games, who are you rooting for to win these games?
I'm going Eagles because the Rams and the Chargers kind of a thing. So I'll go Eagles. I'll go Lions. But I don't care if the Commanders win. I hope whoever wins that game, by the way, I hope wins the Super Bowl between the Commanders and Lions. Ravens, Bills. I really don't care about either one of those teams because they're so good. It's like Dave said, like I'm rooting for the underdogs. Obviously, the Chiefs lose, right? That's the thing I care about.
That's all we care about.
Yeah.
I want Detroit badly for all my Detroit family.
That's right. Yeah, you got family in Detroit.
Yeah, and I never hated Detroit.
Yeah.
Besides when Ndamukong Suh was there. That guy was.
And nobody hated Detroit. Nobody hates the team that stinks. Right? Back then, in every sport. Like when you played lacrosse, Mario, did he hate the team that was the worst team in the league every year? Did you sit there, walk around telling your teammates F those guys? No, you didn't. You never even thought about them.
Actually, Tough example. Yes, because those sucky teams are usually all football players, and the only thing they knew in lacrosse was they just knock you the F out. So you would just get decked in those games. It sucked, dude.
Do you, Dave? Do you have anything that's pissed you off lately before we get out of here?
I don't know. Did I tell the gym thing? Because it seems to be a topic of conversation. If I'm a jerk, and I think I brought it up to you guys on the show, but I didn't bring it up.
Oh
on
yeah,
this
share it so everybody knows you're.
All right, I'm kind of curious, real quick. I'm gonna throw it out there. I'm not going to give a lot of people obviously a lot of time to respond. You can respond later on, but I get criticized for this. I'm not a big gym guy. All right, I only go to the gym if I'm doing like legs, upper body. I have a whole home gym at home, but I can't do the leg stuff at home. I don't have all that equipment, so I'll go to the gym and I don't do a lot. Like I'm not a squatter. You know, I'm past that. I'm not playing Sunday. Okay. But I'll do calf raises. I'll do leg extensions and I'll do hamstrings. And then I'm out. I can knock out 10 reps in 15 minutes and I'm out. And so when I walk in, if you're using a machine, that's fine. But don't sit there and run a circuit in the gym. Don't sit there and put a towel on one machine, a water bottle on another machine, and your wipes or whatever on another, and sit there and run back between 3 machines, but take 2 to 3 minutes in between each set to look at your phone or whatever you're doing, or you can't catch your breath because you're so out of shape, but you're going to do circuit training like it's your 9th grade football coach, with the buzzer. What the hell are you doing? So when I walk into the gym the other day, go to the calf machine, no one's on it. And I'm like, cool, I'm not get this one out of the way. And then there's the guy's Yeti sitting right there on the machine. Okay. One of the big ones. And so I sat there and for about 30 seconds and didn't see anybody coming back. I just put the Yeti on the floor. And then after 30 seconds, I just booted it. I just kicked the hell out of it right towards the racquetball courts at LA Fitness. And it goes flying. Thank God I didn't hit anybody. It didn't. But the guy eventually comes back. Where's my Yeti? I go, I kicked it. It's over there by the goddamn racquetball courts. And then he looks at me like, what the hell? Doesn't say a word because he's a puss. And then he goes to the front desk and he complains. He turns me in. And then they come back to me and they said, we've had this problem with you before. And I go, you're damn right you did. That's what I do. That's my move. I will either throw your stupid towel 3 feet over there as far as I can chuck it. I will kick your Yeti or I'll throw your t-shirt, or I'll throw it underneath the weights so he can't find it. But I'm not gonna sit there and do that. This is not your personal gym, and don't run a circuit. So if you're gonna pull that move, I'm gonna kick your stuff or I'm gonna throw it somewhere where you aren't gonna be able to find it, or definitely aren't gonna want to put it on again. I'll tell you that. It's gonna be dirty as hell. But yeah, so what? But for some reason, people say, "What's your problem, psycho?" And I'm sick and tired of it. I got a lot of problems. I just want to get in and out. That's it. I got stuff to do. Damn. So yeah, what am I mad about today? I'm mad about these public gyms and people don't know how to use them. That's
gym
my
etiquette.
issue.
Gym etiquette.
Gym etiquette.
Gym etiquette and plain etiquette. Put me in the grave. I mean, those two things drive me nuts. Yeah, know how to behave, dude. You cannot do a 3 machine circuit. That's ridiculous. 2 machines max. If you're gonna do it, you can't be on your phone. I'm with Dave on this one. Stamp. He's a psycho, but he's our psycho, just like Jim Harbaugh. Stamp of approval. I agree with you.
Yeah. What would Jim Harbaugh say? Let's go. And the people that look at their phone, just so you know, people have no idea how long they actually look at their phone. Give an example. We've all looked at our phone at a red light, right? How many times have you sat at a red light without your phone going, Jesus, the light ever going to change? But when you look at your phone, like, oh my God, it's green already. You know what I mean? When you're on your phone, dude, it's a whole different time change. So when you're on your phone and you think you're only answering 1 or 2 texts, dude, that is a long time for somebody to wait to get on your goddamn machine. Like, I want to strangle you. It's insane. Do not pick up your phone and start texting unless you just aren't going to be on a machine. Get the hell out of there.
Dude, both of us have got in trouble at that. Sorry, Mario. Both of us have got in trouble at that LA Fitness. I got in trouble on the basketball courts, just like Mike G.
Yeah.
Not for cussing.
For cussing?
No, I said something I shouldn't have said. I'll say it here. Whatever. And whatever. Yeah. I'm a shooter in basketball. I just like to light it up from behind the arc. And I was doing my thing and I knocked down a 3-pointer and I yelled active shooter in the building. And somebody thought that was not funny. And they told on me the front desk and they had to pull me off the court and said, if I yell active shooter in the building one more time, they're going to take away my membership. So,
oh my gosh.
Yeah. Yeah.
The telling of the security, I mean, that security, just the front desk to me is crazy.
Right.
I don't how do you have that much time?
And the girl at the front desk has known me like 20 years, which is hilarious. She's like, Dave, sorry, but this has happened before. I'm like, I know. I'm sorry. Put you in this situation, which made me laugh. You know, good God.
You know what's also the worst? When people have like the big backpack or the big bag and they don't put it in the locker and they carry it around. That sends me.
All right, here you go. Same gym. I got in trouble for this one. Let me ask you this question. Am I wrong on this? I don't think I am wrong. I appreciate if anybody did this. I would bring a thing of Clorox wipes, and instead of going to get the BS hand sanitizer that you put on a tissue and you wipe it down. What kind of wipe down is that? I literally use Clorox wipes, and I'll wipe down the machine before and after I use it. Number one, I don't know where your sweaty ass has been. Two is I don't sweat. I'm not one of those guys that sweats all the time, but at the same time, I know I touch the machine, so I'll wipe the machine down. Hey, you can't bring your Clorox wipes in here. Why not?
They're wrong on that one.
They're wrong.
If you're going to spend if they're going to spend your own money on Clorox wipes, you should be allowed to use it.
Yeah, I think I have really good gym etiquette. And I don't talk to anyone.
That's actually really nice of you to do that.
All right,
yeah, that's extremely nice. I don't even do that.
Now you guys set me off on this whole thing. I don't know why you guys asked me this question. I never stopped. Here you go. The other thing happened to me the other day at the gym. I had a guy come up to me. I try and time out going to the gym where I don't have to do conversations. You know what I mean? I try and go when I'm thinking no one I know would possibly be that crazy to be there at this time. So I go in the afternoon because Josh says, well, I don't know why the hell you get up so damn early to go to the gym when the door opens and it's 41 degrees outside. And I said, I'm trying to avoid people. And he goes, just go at 1 o'clock or go right before baseball practice and you'll be in and out. Sure enough, man, I'm looking. Here come like people. Hey, I've been in this community a long time. And the first guy starts talking to me and I'm sitting there, I'm listening. As he's talking, he's a spitter. You know what I mean? Those guys. And dude, his spit hit me right in the lip, dude, right here. And I'm like, you could feel it. You know, I'm like, dude, his spit just touched me right on the lip. I just want to die. Like, that's all I can think about right now is this man's spit is on my lip. You know, what do I do? And if I had a Clorox wipe on my hand, I swear I would have shoved it right in my mouth.
That's disgusting.
But I wanted to, like, a tear went down my face, I think, when he did it. I want to punch him in the face, but it's not his fault. But man, we all know those guys, right? That talk and spray at the same time. This guy just hit me right in the lip. And I was like, F word. I cussed about Josh under my breath too at that moment too. Josh doesn't know shit.
Wasn't the first, won't be the last. It's fine. All right. Are we good?
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Fitness. I see what you wrote, and that's exactly what I was thinking. I see it. You're exactly right. That's exactly what I was thinking. Damn it.
That's disgusting.
It is.
I have to eat dinner. That's disgusting.
It's only like 2:08 here or whatever, or 2:06. I can't see. God,
that's crazy. California. Yeah, it's literally the end of my day. Well, not really, because I have to work at night, but you know what I mean.
I got you. All right, that was a lot of fun. I don't know why you guys asked that question. What pisses me off today? A lot. All right, we'll get out of here. We'll be back on Tuesday. Again, no show this Sunday. Again, please subscribe to the show. Appreciate all the nice comments you guys leave. Again, Josh and I will go through as many responses that we can give. Either we respond to them or we're giving a thumbs up, thumbs down, whatever. But we see every single one. So if you didn't catch the show live, you can leave your comments on YouTube and we'll see every single one of them. But thanks again for joining us today. For Mario Heron, Josh Palais, I'm Dave Palais. We'll see you on Tuesday at 1 o'clock Pacific time.